surf industry. Today, we are joined with Austin of Manera. He is the North American Sales and Marketing Manager for the brand. Austin, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. Stoked to be out here, and yeah, everything's going good.
Awesome, man. I'm stoked to have you on the show here. We've been talking for quite some time. I'm seeing Manera pop up in stores out in the water. I've heard positive stuff about the suits just from numerous surfers and other stores, which is all great. Who doesn't love a good wetsuit and some good water wear? But what I really want to talk to you about today is Manera as a brand has taken a hard stance on no direct consumer. Let's support the backbone of our industry. Let's support the surf shops. What led to this decision?
Yeah, Mike, not selling direct to consumer and really keeping the focus and strategy around growing the brand through the retail channel. It's always been a part of our core principles for both Monera and our parent company, F1. Uh, we see surf shops as the backbone of the industry, and um, it's the place where the history of that surf community lives. It's where the etiquette lives. It's where the experience lives, and the retailers are very the large component in how the industry was built. So um, our goal is to always support the local retailers. We don't cut them out by selling direct to consumer and selling on our website. So it's been it's been a strategy that it's a great value proposition. It's also created challenges along the way while coming to market. It's definitely a longer term strategy and vision. And in our eyes, if we do it right and we grow the brand through the grassroots community of those surf shops and the surf communities that they serve, it's going to be a stronger foundation for the brand and an overall healthier kind of cycle and ecosystem for the surf industry as a whole. From a consumer to the retailer to the manufacturer to um, just the entire flow of it all. So, it's been our main focus and will continue to be one of our main focuses.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a focus and a value that I can back. I mean, if as I've always said, if it wasn't for surf shops, none of us would be here. They created the industry, and we got to get their back because once they're gone, it's gone. There is no surf industry without surf shops. So I think it's definitely rad that you guys have taken that stance, and it's rad to see more brands do that. How's that been paying off? I'm sure the retailers are stoked on it. We're in a major shift in the industry right now where a lot of big brands are kind of going, let's just politely call it that next level of a company where they're not so core anymore. They're over here, and I'm just gonna use my screen. They're over there outside of the picture because now they're focused on Kohl's and Costco, and they've just kind of, I hate to say, turned their back on the shops that made them. Not all of them. Some people are finding a balance. But my main point is we're seeing a new crop of brands come to the forefront, come to light, that are becoming those top tier core brands. How has this stance been received by not just the shop owners and buyers, but by consumers? And do you feel like it's giving you an advantage in the market?
Yeah, there's a lot to all that right there. There's a lot of variables in everything you just said there, and I think that I've only been in the surf industry for 3 or 4 years now. Luckily, I've been able to work with some of the best retailers and some older industry heads that have been able to kind of grant me some more insight, and I've been able to kind of get a decent understanding of how that shifting landscape is moving and what these larger VC groups are it's a crazy little equation, and I think a lot of those larger household name brands are struggling to stick to their authenticity and their principles and what they were built on. And everyone's got their own business to run, but we're definitely seeing that maximize revenue, minimize overhead approach where those guys are seeing higher margin in direct consumer, so they're investing into that D2C online component, and you're seeing the consumer buying trends start shifting to that. Um, and then a lot of that's just cutting out the local retailer, right? And we not selling direct to consumer, I think it is a great value proposition. And I think it does position Manera in a slightly different manner. And we've definitely invested into retail partnerships that have that online component because there's definitely a tick there. I think people are buying more wetsuits online than ever before. I mean, you look back 6, 7, 8 years ago, I mean, no one was really buying suits online. And nowadays we're starting to see that really tick. So we've invested in that front through retailers, not selling direct on our own website, but through the clean lines, the jacks, the real water sports, the backcountries, the wetsuit warehouses, the retailers that have invested into that online component. So yeah, there's a lot to that, and each brand and business has got their own business to run. Over here, we're really just trying to stick to those core principles of what we're built on, and double down on what's working, and stay true to our grassroots long term foundational mindset of the strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's funny because we all love to talk. I mean, shoot, that's why we're doing a vlog, because we're talking, and it's so easy to point fingers at some of these brands that have gotten so big that they're looking for other avenues of distribution and not focused on the avenues that um, built them, where that's just their business plan. And good for you. Go follow your business plan, do your thing, but this is our business plan, and this is what Manera is doing, or the brands I work for. This is what Martha's doing. We're focused on retailers and we're focused on partnerships. We're not worried about being, you know, the biggest brand out there, So it's all just different business plans. And you're right though. It's like you could still sell online. For me, I can talk about the brand I work at where we only sell brick and mortar. We also don't do direct to consumer. But that being said, it doesn't mean the products aren't available online. For example, I sell Central Coast surfboards. They keep our products
Yeah.
on their floor. Since our products are on their floor, they can put them on their website. It's an extension to their store. So if somebody emails me and says, I'd like to buy your product, but I don't have it in a shop next to me, well, here, buy it at Central Coast Surfboards. And you're still supporting local while doing that, and everybody's getting a little slice out of the pie. So I think it's great that you're taking that stance. Another question for you, though, is, this came up with a shop of mine that said, and it was actually funny. This came from an owner of a store. Um, and he said, I can't imagine any new company starting today and not selling direct consumer. If you didn't, you
Saw
have
that.
what?
I saw that somewhere.
I posted it on the Building the Revolution Instagram. But he said, he appreciates it, obviously. But he goes, if you're not selling direct to consumer, your marketing has to be twice as good, because now nobody's going to go to your website, try it out, and then go to their local retailer and buy it. So now, not only do you have to promote the brand, you got to let your audience know where they can get it. How has Manera taken a different approach to marketing that maybe helps lead the consumer to the retailer?
Yeah, that kind of ties back into what I said earlier around some variables and challenges that not having direct consumer component services. Not having a website to sell on. It doesn't give you the type of metrics that you would if you were doing direct. And we kind of shift our strategy into driving people from our website, which we built to, one, educate the consumer about our brand and our products, and two, inspire. But at the end of the day, there's no pricing on there. There's no shopping cart. There's just a find your local surf shop button or find your local shop button, and that's going to take you to the nearest surf shop near you. And what we've really seen is, and that makes it tricky to track. We have really seen success, and I think the retailers are starting to become more aware of the fact that they too have to invest time into building that e-commerce business. And I think that they value a brand like Manera that comes in and sits down and is like, hey guys, we want to support your business. If you are investing into an e-commerce, component for your business, like we're here to help you build that. We're here to drive sales to your website. And once you kind of get that structure and flow set up with a dealer that is investing time into their online store, that's when you can really start to see the return and the metrics start to flow on what's working, what's not working. We've had shops that, expand their offering online with Manera, but they don't do the back end work and invest time into, advertising or social media or whatever marketing channel that's driving those sales online. And they just expect sales to happen, but they don't. The retailers have to invest into that too. So it's really what it comes down to is it's the brand's duty to work with the dealer to help drive sales and understand their business and understand how to help them do that.
Yeah. You bring up a good point, though. I've had this conversation with another company that's more of an online selling tool. And they're talking about the frustrations. People think you get this online selling tool, sales just automatically happen. But he's like, no,
Yeah.
it's like any other tool. I can give you the shovel, but you still got to dig.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the shovel doesn't dig the hole for you. I can give you the tools, but you still got to do the work. So in your case, like we can provide you with all the knowledge, all the product, all the know-how, but you still have to invest in your online store to grow it because as a brand, I can't do that for you. I can do stuff to, like you said, links on your website that draw consumers there, but you still got to do your part. It's got to be a true brand retail alliance that helps the
Yeah.
whole industry grow.
And I think for those emerging brands that we're starting to see come to light, I think that's a big thing that they got to take a look at is, how do we work closer with these retailers, with our communities, with our athletes to really build authenticity and to tell our story through these live channels that are there to work with, and providing that higher level support for both the retailer, which would lead to a better customer experience with the brand. I mean, it all works together, but our goal is to provide a higher um, elevated service to the retailers. And, at the end of the day, if you invest into that, um, you'll see a return in the long term
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
around
It's
the business.
as the conversation I have pretty often is when you take this route, you're not going to be an overnight success, but this
Mm.
will be a long organic road that, maybe you become number two, and as I mean, and you're not the number one brand out there, but you know what? The number one brand seems to change often, where I'd rather take the long organic growth and be number two for 10 years
Yeah.
than be number one for 1 year because of the flavor of the month or the flavor of this. I'd rather just stay steady and be a solid company, managing my inventory, working with my retailers, and having a nice, long, steady growth.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
fortunate. I feel fortunate to work with a company like Manera and the Solis family. I mean, um, when I was first taking a look at this project, I was like, I didn't thank God for Jim Watson. He taught me a lot, and like I was a little overwhelmed, and then kind of getting the flow going after a few years of putting in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the pavement. Like I kind of started reflecting and looking back, and like these guys have a really good vision and approach here, where it is that more long term grassroots foundational approach, and I think that's what's going to make a big difference in how Monero is positioned and what we look like in the future. You see a lot of European brands kind of try to come in and infiltrate a market, and they have this big VC money, and they have infusions for marketing, and they buy a Main Street Jack's window, and right when they come to market, you see that just like quick pulse, but there's no foundation underneath, and you'll see them kind of fizzle out in a few years. Um, Not that it happens every time, but we kind of really took an approach of a longer term vision, and uh,
yeah.
I think
No,
it's
it's
going to pay off.
definitely, I've seen that a couple times. And I've actually worked for a company like that, for lack of a better term, wanted to invest all this stuff in 6 months. And when they didn't see the return right away, we're done. Or we're pulling. It's like, no, this is long term. There's no overnight successes here. Well, you mentioned people that have influenced you along the way. You mentioned Jim Watson. You also, you're wearing a Proof Lab hat right now. You talked about, hitting the pavement. What are some of the retailers that Monera's made a good partnership with, and some of those friends you've met along the way that have really helped mold the brand into what it is now?
That's a great question. There's not a short answer to that. I feel so lucky to have been able to, uh, it's really cool way to see the country, is to travel around and see surf shops. I mean, it kind of ties back into that first question you asked, and um, it's a cool way to see the country and to get a kind of a shortcut into insight on that surf community, because that's where the history of that surf community lives, is in that surf shop. So being able to travel around and have the job to make friends with that surf shop, to get to know their business, to get to surf with them, to have a good time, and help grow their business in a value added way. Uh, I've met so many rad people. We've always had the focus of not trying to be everything to everyone. We want to work with the right shops that understand their business and ideally plan their business and pay their bills. That helps everybody out a lot. A couple standouts has been Bing Surfboards here in Southern California has been a huge supporter. San Diego, Thalia Surf Shop, Bird Rock, going up. CCS has been a great partner for us. Proof Lab, NorCal Surf Shop, Aqua, uh, going up in the Pacific Northwest. You got like guys like Moment, Clean Line has been a great partner, especially with the econ component. Um, Middle of the country variables like Backcountry's been a great retail partner for us, and they're starting to do brick and mortar, and their stores are really rad. So rad customer experience there with Manera and Backcountry. On the East Coast, we're getting the fire going. Ferry's has been a great shop for us. Real water sports starting to get cooking, and uh, we got a lot going on. I'm excited to spend more time on the East Coast and get a better understanding of that market, and really strengthen our partnerships and our alliances out there with both the community and the retail channel. And yeah, I mean, I can go on forever with stories and rad people I've met, and um, I feel extremely lucky and stoked to keep doing it too.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's a really cool way to see the country, and it's a cool industry to slowly start to build more wisdom and knowledge around. There's a lot of stuff in the mix of it all, and getting to talk to guys like you and just be immersed in the community of the industry, it's rad.
Yeah. I fully agree. Like just that FaceTime with retailers, like, you know,
Yeah.
90% of the reason why I started doing Building the Revolution is because when I first started in the surf industry as a sales rep, 20 plus years ago, uh, I was on the road. I was a road dog. And if it wasn't for all those stores that when I came into their store and they were like, nice to meet you. Um, what's going on? If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have this long of a career. I wouldn't, be paying my mortgage. I wouldn't, my kids would be like, Dad, like I never see you. Like I've had this really great life, all because of that time behind the windshield and meeting these retailers face to face. Guys like Nate and Will at Proof Lab, man. I mean, I used to drive up to, I was a NorCal rep living in Orange County, and I would drive to them first. One, because I knew they would always buy the most.
Yeah.
But back then, this is when I was working for Ocean and Earth. I would fill a van up with product, and I knew that every month. This is when they just had the one store. Those guys turned so much product that if I didn't go see them first, I might not have what they needed. So I would drive up to Mill Valley, and then at the time there was a shop called Log Shop. I would go down to, well, I'd go see Wise when Wise was in business. I'd go see Tate and Jen when they were at Log Shop. And between those three stores right there, they would empty half my van. And I mean, like no joke. It was a good day. That was a good day
Yeah.
with those three guys in business. And then I drive down to Santa Cruz, and back then I know times have changed, but I could hit 6 stores in Santa Cruz. Six independent retailers too, not chains. Like between 41st Street and oh, I'm forgetting there was a women's surf shop down there, Santa Cruz Surf Shop, Arrow, Hout, Pack Wave. I mean, there was so many shops, not even going to the little shops in Capitola. It was such a good day.
Important little zone right there. Santa Cruz is its own little animal there.
Yeah,
There's so many rad surf shops. It's funny, like I've and being that pavement guy is it's a grind, especially being the newer brand on the block, a newer kid that doesn't know anybody,
Yeah.
like I put in a few years of like in the surf industry, a lot of it's a bro deal, people buy from people, and it took a while for people to really kind of start being open to bringing on a new brand, especially neoprene in the current state of when we came to market. The market was just nobody, there was a lot going on there, but um,
Yeah. And
and it's
NorCal
nice to
is just in
have
the
it's
city.
nice to have a quality product behind you because
Right.
at the end of the day, if especially in wetsuits and neoprene, like if the product doesn't work, you're gonna get weeded out really quick. So I had that going for me because we only make quality products. Uh, but that was a lot of work and it was a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
you
Well, you bring
know,
up a great point, though. I mean, just talking about wetsuits. I mean, I know you live down, we both live in Southern California. We use wetsuits, but it's not like we probably both have friends in NorCal, and they're like, dude, my wetsuit's just as important as my surfboard. If I don't have a good wetsuit, I'm not surfing,
it's a hard
and
fit.
especially
It's
when
a
you get
hard,
into NorCal in the wetsuit business now. Oh man, I can only imagine you're up there and they're probably like, oh, we have Buell, oh, we have O'Neill. Um, I don't even know if Hotline's doing much business anymore, but I remember going up there back in the days, and those were the guys that they ruled the market in NorCal. It was very hard to bust down that door. I know Isurus, I might be saying it wrong, Isurus, they were originally from Half Moon Bay. I believe they're down in San Clemente now, but like you already got some brands up there. So you got to
it's
come up there with a really good product to
yeah,
make them say, let me check it out.
yeah. It's definitely a challenging category and a challenging market. Especially with what COVID did to the industry. There was a lot going on there and already a very competitive market. So being a being the new guy on the block was tough, but I think that our approach, the value proposition we bring to the dealer, the quality and service that we bring to the customer, I think that people are ready for new things. And if you do it right and build it right, and you got a good product, there's a space. You got to carve it out. You got to throw some bows and scratch and fight for the market share, but uh, if you got the grit, I think it's there to take. But yeah, the central NorCal market is critical. Same with Pacific Northwest and the Northeast, New Jersey zone. I mean, it's crazy. More learning like how crucial and different these little zones are. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, shooting out there, you got Hyperflex. I know they do decent business in New Jersey. And then even the Solite boot out of New Jersey is a really cool product. I don't know how you guys do on booties, but I know a lot of those New Jersey guys love that Solite boot. So you
yeah.
have your competition. But to your point, when you come out with great customer service, a great product, it's gonna shine through. Let's talk about product real quick though. We've talked so much about supporting the local shops, which is super important. What's new for Monero? What's the hot happening suit that you got going on? What's happening for summer?
We got a comprehensive line. Anyone listening that hasn't familiarized themselves with Monera's product offerings, I suggest going on our website and taking a look because it is comprehensive. We kind of have multiple ranges depending on the use case, price point, customer, etc. And recently we really invested into protection. On the neoprene side, um, we've kind of got the line where we wanted it, and as we were coming to market, we didn't change too much. We can have some inventory rollover and kind of keep the same collection rolling over from a strategy standpoint and inventory to just simplify things and make sure that we have inline goods for supporting the retail channel. Um, but we're always innovating and developing new products in the background. I mean, that's really, I mean, you should see these guys in France on the F1 side. I mean, these guys they just want to be on the water, trying the latest and greatest. And like, you just, and then that kind of rolls right over into Manera as well. A great product success currently is our new S foam helmet. We brought a helmet to market, and we're seeing great traction in multiple water sport categories, both online and in store. That's been a great success. And then for Southern California right now, our Seafair range is crushing it. Our hybrid Sweet Twos across the whole range. We got everything you need there. Extend premium butter 3.2, butter 4.3, and then your magma for colder water. And yeah, we're starting to see good traction across the whole range and product line. And um, we really focused on educating the consumer around the line. That's another thing is your newer brand coming to market. You have XYZ range. It takes a few years. It takes a few cycles for the retailers to be educated and understand your line. And then it takes even a few more years for the consumer to start to catch on. Um, and that's a job, that's a brand's responsibility to educate that retailer, to educate the consumer, to invest into good POP, to invest into good customer experiences, both direct and through the retail channel. So we've been really focused on that. And yeah, ask anyone with a Manera wetsuit. I mean, I'm pretty confident you're going to get positive feedback because we make great wetsuits. And we just sent you one, Mike. So I'm stoked to get your feedback as well. I don't know if you got that yet or not, but
No, I haven't got it yet. But I'm really looking forward to wearing it. Like I was telling you before, it's funny, as long as I've been in the industry, I've never had a short arm.
no,
I've always been a long arm spring guy.
Tim, I love
And I
those.
worked in wetsuits for a long time, and I always sold them. I never had them in stock. So I'm like, I want to wear a short arm full. I want to see what it
I
feels like.
like the 2 mil short arm. I mean, it's another layer of skin. It doesn't restrict any mobility or flexibility in the knees. Um, it's a go-to suit for me. I surfed in it this morning. But
Yeah.
that 3.2 hybrid, the short leg, long arm it's up there in my quiver. That suit, the Extend 3.2 is insane.
Yeah.
And Extend 3.2 is like, in my opinion, the best 3.2 in the market. If that guy's looking for that full round winner 3.2, and or that like 4 hour lower session 3.2, just um, insanely flexible. The extend range is insane.
That's sick. Yeah.
You'll like the short arm. I'm stoked to get your feedback.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear it. And it's funny. I was thinking about, the long arm spring. I think I always wore those. I think I saw Archie wear one, and I was like, well, of course, I got to be like Archie. I got to wear a long arm spring. I mean, that's what he's wearing. So, and then real quick, I know we're almost running out of time. I'm looking at my timer up there. Just speaking of, the shifting industry, and we're watching all these people, surfers, shift sponsors. Any riders that we should know about or anything coming up that you want to share?
Yeah, it's that's an exciting pipeline for us. We've really invested heavily into our grassroots community over the last few years. Not being a family owned, privately owned company. I mean, we don't have those big marketing infusions or these big marketing budgets. Our marketing budget's based off projected or current revenue, so we're very smart in that regards. So that means we got to get a little strategic and kind of be patient and not, that it's an interesting topic right there.
Yeah. Well, don't spend what you don't have.
Yeah, and you see brands get in trouble in that regard sometimes. So we're always talking to rad people, and it's been really fun seeing more names surface with interest. It's funny, like 3.5 years ago, I always make the joke, like I couldn't give a sticker away. Now I can't get my distributor to give me enough stickers to give away. Or like I used to be stoked when someone would reach out, like wanting to be an ambassador or something, and now I'll see it and I'm like, oh, that's rad, but it's like another thing to do.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see more relevant and well-known names kind of surface into the community with interest, and it's really exciting, and it feels good to see that. So hopefully we'll have some really rad announcements in the short term. We definitely have a rad long-term vision in regards to building our international and national teams. That's definitely an exciting part of the puzzle for me. Um, yeah, so
You're pretty much a
yes,
one-man show over there too, right? I mean, you're doing the sales and marketing, so you're probably talking to riders doing marketing while doing sales at the same time. You
yeah,
got stuff. Shuffle it around.
It's been an interesting ride. You know, we all work as a team. You know, I work a lot with France, and I work very closely with our distribution partner here for North America, and those guys run a heck of a team in San Francisco at our distribution warehouse there. Um, and then France, they have an amazing team over there too. So yeah, it's we all do a lot, and it's definitely um, it's been a lot of work the last few years, but it's fun work, and you know, wouldn't be possible without all the people in our community. So it's a very important piece of the puzzle to invest in. You know.
100%. And on that note, because that was an inspirational closer, I think we're going to end it there, man. So I'm super stoked we got to chat. And I look forward to getting that suit, and I look forward to seeing what's in the future for Manera.
Yeah, yeah, I am too, and I appreciate the time, Mike. I think what you're doing at Building the Revolution is rad, and it's an important voice to be heard. You know, so we're stoked to be a part of it and to keep staying in contact and spreading the stoke.
Awesome. Well, we will appreciate that, and we will catch you next time.
Sounds good, Mike. Let us know how that short arm full works for you.
Oh, absolutely.